Hello, class. We're about to start section 1, 2. Where does the time go? Now, according to the syllabus, we have two parts of 1, 2 that we need to complete. Page 18, 3 through 7, and page 23, 2 through 7. So let's go to basically page 18 so we could get started. If you look here at page 18, you have a chart here that's basically talking about how time is spent, and we're given the different letters as far as what they mean. C means class time, H is time for homework, S is sleep, W is work, and O is other time commitments. Now, instead of counting up all of this, I know you all would love to do that. We're just going to fill in problem number 3. Class time, it'll be 15 hours. The homework is 32 hours. Sleep is 54 hours. Work is 15 hours. And other is 52 hours. So if you add all of these up, it will end up giving you 168 hours for the week. Now, we move over here to problem number 4. It says without adding the hours in the table, oops, we already did that. How can you decide what the total number of hours should be? So if you think about this, there's 24 hours in a day, and then there's 7 days in a week. So if we multiply this out, this will give us 168 hours. That's how many hours you have in a week. Now, number 5. Most college advisors would tell you that a good rule of thumb is to allow 2 hours of study time outside of class for each hour spent in class. Is the student that filled out the table in question 3 following that advice? Okay, so basically, in class, if we go back to number 3, they're spending 15 hours in class. So we're told here that for every hour in class, you should spend 2 outside of class. So we have 15 times 2, which is 30 hours. Now, if we look back here, this student is spending 32 hours on homework, which is work outside of class. So we could say that the student is adhering to this advice and exceeds it by 2 hours. Now, number 6, it says use your results from question 3 and 4 to fill in the next chart with the percentage of hours in a week devoted to each activity. It says round to the nearest percent. Now, if you look here for class time, now they tell us to round to the nearest percent, so they're telling us not to have any decimals. Now, I'm going to have to write this off to the side because we really don't have that much room inside of these boxes here. But what we would have is for class, it'll be 15 divided by 168. When you put that in your calculator, if you round it, it'll end up being 0.09, which would be 9%. Now that's with rounding. So now for the homework, it was 32 hours for the homework divided by the 168. If you notice, I'm dividing by 168 for each because that's how much time they have per week. So when we round this off, this will give us approximately 0.19, which is approximately 19%. Now we will go to the next, which would be 54 over 168. That's how much sleep. That'll give us approximately 0.32, which is approximately 32%. Now for work, work is the same to 15 over 168. So we know that's approximately 0.09, which is 9%. And then finally, we have other. Other will give us 52 over 168, which is approximately 0.31, which is approximately 31%. Now, number 7. It says studies have shown that college students get about 6.5 hours of sleep per night on average, but that academic achievement improves when students average 8 hours of sleep. What percentage of the hours in a week would be devoted to sleep if you get 6.5 hours of sleep per night? What if you get 8 hours? How is our friend from question 3 doing when it comes to sleep? So if we get 6.5 hours, we know it's 24 hours in a day. So basically, if we have that for a day, that would give us for the whole week. When you put this in your calculator, it'll be approximately 0.27, which is approximately 27%. Now, they said, what if you get 8 hours? So we'll do 8 divided by 24, which is approximately 0.33, which is approximately 33%. So if 8 hours is the recommended amount, we need it to be at 33%. If you notice here, sleep here is at 32%. So it'd be 32% is close, but not enough. Okay, now we are going to move on to the second portion of this exercise. I forgot. I want you all to do problem number 8 as well. I know that that is not in the syllabus, but I think number 8 is a very important problem, so we're going to do that. Okay, so for number 8, it states here a circle can be divided into 360 equal units of measure, which we call degrees. In other words, an entire circle is made up of 360 degrees. The degree symbol represents degrees. Multiply the decimal form of each percentage in question 6 by 360 degrees and put the results into the next chart. Round to the nearest whole degree. So basically, they want us to take the 360 degrees and multiply by the percentages we got in problem number, I believe that was, problem number 6. So we would take, as far as the class was concerned, we'd take 360 divided by 0.09, which is the percent, and that would give us approximately, because they asked us to round to the nearest whole degree, it'll give us approximately 32 degrees. So for class, it'll be 32 degrees. Then we'll take 360 degrees and multiply it by the 19%, which would be 0.19. So it'll be approximately 68 degrees. So now for sleep, 360 degrees times, it'll be approximately 32%, and that would give us approximately 115 degrees. Now for work is the same as class, so it'd be 360 degrees times 0.09, which is approximately 32 degrees. Got to be careful that my degrees don't look like zeros. Okay, and last but not least, it'll be 360 degrees times 31%, so it'd be 0.31, which would give us approximately 112 degrees. All right. So now we did add in number 8, so make sure you notate that because that's going to be very important. All right, so now we move on here and we move on to 23. And we have here, we're going to do problems 2 through 7. Now we're going to interpret pie charts. It says a national survey on college students and work was conducted during the 2003-2004 academic year and reported on the website www.acenet.edu. The results are summarized in a pie chart. What range of hours work was most common? Okay, if you look at this pie chart, now they said hours worked, so we would not include none. So the hours worked that was most common was the 1 through 20 hours, because that's 35%. Now, number 3, what percentage of students work between 21 and 34 hours per week? Now, they asked for the percent for 21 to 34 hours. That's 21%, as stated here. Now for number 4, how many degrees make up the angle for the sector representing students who work from 1 to 20 hours per week? So we know that's 35%, which is 0.35. And we know to get degrees, we have to multiply by 360. So it'd be 360 degrees. So we'll multiply the 0.35 times 360 degrees, which will give us 126 degrees. Okay, now we move on to the next page and the next problem. So we go here to problem number 5 on page 24. It says, on a campus with 7,500 students, on average, how many would you expect to work at least 1 hour per week? Now, when it says at least, that means that it'll be 1 hour or more. So if you look at the chart, that would include everything. Let me go back. That would include everyone except for the none, because all the rest of these are 1 hour or more. So what we would need to do is add up those percentages. If you look here, we would have, let me move this over here a little bit. We would have the 35%, we would have the 21%, and we would have the 19%. And we would add all of those up. And when we add those up, it would give us 75%. So now, we would take our 7,500 and multiply by 0.75. We put in our calculator to give us 5,625. And that's how many you would expect to work, students. 5,625 students will work 1 hour or more. Now, number 6. On a campus in question 5, how many students would you expect to work less than 21 hours? So when they say less than 21 hours, they're referring to anything under 21 hours. So if we go here to the chart, was less than 21 hours is the 35% with the 1 through 20 and also the none. So we will add those percentages up. The none is 25% and the 1 through 20 hours is 35%. So that's 60%. Okay, so now we would take our 7,500 and multiply by 0.60, and that would give us 4,500 students. Now, number 7, how do you think these results would compare with a similar survey conducted for this school year? Why do you feel that way? Okay, now this is a matter of opinion, but what you would have to do is give an educated guess. But I would tell you what I probably would put down. I would say with the cost of everything going up, I think it would be higher for the amount of working students. And that is it. If you have any questions, please email me or wait to the big blue button session and we can discuss this. Have a good day.